I realized that this series was pretty well reviewed, but I've often always felt that it has sort of been overlooked. And I'm not saying it's perfect because it's not, but in an era when Marvel was sort of floundering, this one really rose above the mediocrity for me. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you're new, check out the rest of the channel and let me know what you think. Let's dive into Moon Knight. When Feige announced all of the post-Endgame projects, this one was one of the ones that I was genuinely excited for. Now, it didn't turn out to be the most compelling series that they've ever produced, like I hoped. Surprisingly, I gave that feat to Loki, which I was very apprehensive about. But regardless, this show is still very, very enjoyable. I've always been a fan of this character from the comics. His origin and how it ties to ancient Egypt is interesting. The role of his multiple personalities in his life and in his vigilante escapades is very compelling. And that suit is just iconic. All of these factors in this show, they nail all of them. I've always found that ancient Egypt is extremely interesting, like most people probably. This show does such a good job of bringing that to the forefront. Even throughout the first two episodes when we're in London, it was a genius idea having Steven be an employee at the museum and also just be a bona fide ancient Egypt nerd. It puts Moon Knight, Khonshu, and the gods and mythos of Egypt on full display, and it ties that into the entire story. It's refreshing because it feels like we haven't been graced with enough movies or shows that utilize this location or this setting, save for like the Mummy franchise. This show does an excellent job playing off Mark's dual personality, and Oscar Isaac is incredible. The back and forth that these characters give each other is filmed, acted, and written so well. And the writers just give you enough little tidbits and pieces throughout the entire series so they don't unravel the mystery too fast and ruin it. They even hold the reveal of the Lockley personality until the finale post-credit scene. The two main personalities are both so distinct as well, not just through their accents, but also their look and style. The Moon Knight and Mr. Knight suits, both vastly different. But even their skill sets, Mark is a lethal mercenary. He's battle-tested and capable. Steven is way more intellectual. He's timid, but thoughtful, and very useful, especially when Mark and Layla are trying to track down Harrow in his dig site. And let's not forget, the suits, both the Moon Knight and Mr. Knight suits, are two of my favorites in this universe. They both look incredible. So much detail, so much style. Granted, when the Moon Knight suit is not practical and it's fully CGI, it's very glaring. That is one of the small issues of this show, is some of the CGI is hard to look at, and that's one of them. The performances across the board are all fantastic. Isaac, of course, as I stated, is phenomenal. But newcomer May Calamawy as Layla is fantastic. She's skillful, tactical, and hardened in her own right. I dug her transition into the Scarlet Scarab as well, sort of an obscure character from the literature, but it's great and she looks great in the action sequences. And that suit is fantastic. Then there's Ethan Hawke, turned heel as Arthur Harrow, the former avatar for Moon Knight who now seeks to rid the world of evil by unleashing Ammit. What a performance. He's calculated yet ruthless. He's manipulative yet very honest at a lot of points in this show. He just dives right into this role as this inspiring cult leader-like figure. But I think his best lines and scenes come when he's portraying the Dr. Harrow character in Mark's head. It just adds another layer to this performance, as well as the battle that Mark has with him internally. I enjoy the action sequences for the most part. The Moon Knight reveal in the museum bathroom is great. The Mr. Knight reveal in episode 2 is a lot of fun. And even though I have issues with the finale itself, the Layla and Mark team up against Harrow is exciting, just chock full of creative cinematography and choreography. As for the story, this is where the show starts to lose me, because it is a bit bumpy, especially in the middle half and in the finale. I think the first 2 episodes are near perfect. They build up so much intrigue. Episode 3 is where some of the choices become a little odd to me. For instance, the trial with Harrow and the other Egyptian gods is a bit just incohesive. They don't even investigate Mark and Khonshu's claims. They just take Harrow's word for everything despite his past with Khonshu. Then Harrow returns from his dig site a second time to intercept Layla and Mark at Mogar's, which just feels weird. How did he even know that they were going to be there? How did he get back from his dig site so fast? Why does he even care if he's already entered and begun searching the tomb? The entire episode just feels very meandering. Sort of like the writers were mandated to fill 6 episodes, and so they just kind of added some fluff. Episode 4, we dive fully on into the ancient Egypt lore, and it's great. We're exploring tombs, fighting mummies, uncovering Alexander the Great. Love it. And we get the addition of Mark's Purgatory, a psych ward, which I think is one of the best aspects of this show. This leads to episode 5, where we get all of the big reveals, and it's amazing. Some people hated the hippo. It's wacky, but I love it. It goes along with all these gods and just this crazy lore. Who cares? I just loved getting to see Steven explore everything in Mark's life that he missed, and the explanation for Steven's creation. It is gut-wrenching. Losing his only brother, feeling guilty for it, being abused by his mother, it's brutal. But so uplifting when Steven and Mark reconcile, with Steven consoling him, letting him know that none of this is his fault. This might be my favorite episode. Then we get the finale, which just feels a bit underwhelming. There are parts of it that are very good, like the final standoff. Layla getting her suit is awesome. The action is pretty good. But it's odd that Harrow and his followers, who have no powers to this point, just handle all of the gods no problem before Ammit is even released. I didn't love the kaiju fight either. It just feels weird and out of place. And there are these shots of Cairo and the city that are just so clearly green screen backdrops, getting back to the CGI problem that I stated before. And something I also noticed upon rewatch, there are like whole scenes where people are fighting, souls are being sucked out, people are being killed, there's giant gods fighting in the background, and then there's just like a family having dinner at a restaurant like nothing is happening. Like the entire city isn't being affected by this. They're just ignoring the whole situation. It's very weird. The filming of and the production quality of this episode just does not match the rest of the series. It feels like a lot of this episode was reshoots, like last minute reshoots. All in all, Moon Knight is a unique, well-acted, and enjoyable addition to the Marvel Disney Plus catalog. Isaac and Hawk are equally compelling in their performances. The majority of the action is very engaging and very fun. The inclusion of the Egyptian mythology makes for a watch that piques curiosity. This character and his story is one of the most interesting stories and origins in this universe. I'm happy we finally got to see him in live action. This show, even with its few narrative issues and some very glaringly bad CGI, is still very good. And I can't wait for Moon Knight to return. I hope it's sooner than later.